Hello YouTube, and in this video I'm going to be showing you several canal designs here in the creative world, and then we're also going to be showing you several redstone mechanics in case you're not interested in the canal system. But basically when it comes to the canals, they're still considered important because they are one of the best ways to transport villagers in the Minecraft world. Right now, the Minecraft villager is the only passive mob where you cannot transport them with a lead. So there are basically two ways to move those villagers across your village. You can use railroads. You can also use canals. The railroads tend to be a bad idea because they can be stopped by any mobs along its path. So they would actually push you back, but with the boats you can actually push them away. So that's why we're going to show you these canals here. So let me show you the first concept that we have built. This is a one-button system, and what that means is that with these buttons, any one of these buttons can trigger the water dispensers we have here. So this tends to be a difficult concept because the only way to extend the redstone signal is to use the redstone repeater, and then it only allows the signal to go one way. So you're going to have to do a feedback loop by creating a signal that goes the opposite direction. So whenever we hit this signal here, it will go across there. It would also climb up, and then it will go off in a split here, and then go back into this water dispenser and then all the way down. So with this concept here, the redstone dispensers are 12 blocks apart from each other. And then of course we use these wooden plates so that the water doesn't flow over our path. So let me show you some of the redstone mechanics before we show off the complex designs here. Over here we have the redstone dust, which gets stopped through this block. Now specifically, this is the only time where redstone dust cannot get through. Any other redstone contraption can get through. We're going to actually see that this is called a weakly powered block because there is power there. It just won't go through to the other side with the redstone dust. So the only way to get this signal across is to use these redstone repeaters like this. Now these repeaters can be on the right, it can also be on the left side. And then the next concept here that we're going to show is how we're going to get a signal both through this block and upwards. So we do see that pathing is very important when it comes to these repeaters, because if we put this guy on the left side, that will have this signal jump up above it. It has nothing to do with this redstone pathing over here because it's being blocked by this guy here. Instead, it all has to do with the circuitry involved. So some of our other concepts here is that half slab signaling does not go downward, it does go up. And then over here, this is a basic concept when it comes to the pathing. If you use any levers or buttons. So right now, this is going to power the block that the lever is on, as well as the adjacent blocks. If we were to switch this concept 90 degrees, so that there's an air pocket, what happens is that the redstone lever will power up this air block here, and then it'll also power up this block here, and then those two guys will power up the adjacent blocks. So let's show this concept here down below. We have redstone circuitry that goes through this. Now if we were to power this on, we do know that the redstone repeater is going to stop this from signaling onto the other side. But what's important is that the redstone dust only signals the block below it. It doesn't power anything above it. And then of course that block will also power up the adjacent blocks down below. So let's show this concept on the other side here, where it does go through that block in the middle. And then another important concept here is that if we were to put a lever right above the wire, that's going to power both of those guys up, and that will have the signal reach across down below through that air. If we were to do that with the redstone repeater right below it, it would not work. So the way that works is that the redstone repeaters only accepts signals from one direction. It is not very two-dimensional at all. So let's go back here to this guy. This is probably one of the more lovely designs. It is a one single button concept. And then with that here, one of the issues with this is that if you click the button too quickly, it may not, it may repeat itself. So some troubleshooting guides here is that if you click this button too quickly and you didn't allow the signal to stop, what you can do is that you put a lever to the side here, and that will only power this guy. Let me do that on the other side. So with the signaling here, what we do is that we're going to hit this button. That's going to power off to the right side. That's going to climb up here, and on this path it's going to go back down here, and then that's going to go off to the flip side here. So you do need these arcs to cover multiple units across the map. So with this pathing, there's only 6 blocks in between the water dispensers because you have to worry about the pathing above. So let's show you how this works again. And then let's use a boat to show you how this works. So it's a relatively smooth ride here. And then let me turn this guy off. It does take a little bit longer to turn the signal off. So off to the side here. This is a different design. What we have are pressure plates that does trigger the water dispenser to the side of this. There's a lot more water dispensers along the path since you don't always hit this when you're going across the surface. And then of course we have a guide rail to the left. So let me show you how that works here. This tends to be a little bit choppy, and it may throw you off the boat. It's not one of my favorite designs. Of course, towards the side here, we do have water tunnels that go vertically up and downward using these signs and the fencing to prevent any mobs and then prevent the water from spilling outwards. Okay, so the second to last design here is very similar to this, except there's a wooden plate in between, and then this one is locked in place with a underground signal. So that guy goes all the way across. Now with this one here, this will make it so that if any mobs touches the plates, it won't deactivate it, and tends to be a lot more stable. Okay, so let me show you the last design here. This is one of my favorite ones. This is a underground water canal system. The way that this works, we have a redstone pathing system that goes all the way over here with these redstone repeaters. The signals is directly on top of the water dispensers. And then over here, if you remember, the button cannot be on top of the redstone repeater. This button will power both paths. So that's the way it works here. It powers the one on top and the one below. Redstone signaling can go here, hit the block, hit the redstone dispenser right above it, and then go all the way through. Right now this is 12 blocks in between. It could probably be around 13 or 14. But let me show you how this one works in the survival world. This one is modified so that it can look good next to a building. Welcome back to our city here in the survival world. And let me show you what this canal looks like. So with the click of a button, we hit that canal all the way down here. And it looks pretty good with all these pictures and shops. But that's going to be it for the video here. We do have other Minecraft videos on our channel. But thank you for watching, guys.